Kaido, Big Mom, Blackbeard, Akainu. Why is it that we've seen all these characters fight all out, but nothing from the red-haired man we've seen and known from Chapter 1? What could he possibly be hiding? Did you know that Oda once stated that Shanks is the character who most resembles himself? Did you also know that in an interview, when simply asked what was the name of Shanks' sword, Oda proceeded to answer, the name of his sword is Griffin. We've known Shanks since Chapter 1, but how does he really fight? It seems Oda has big plans for Shanks, and he's well aware that the fanbase has been dying to see even a glimpse of this man in action since the first chapter of the manga released. Yet for the most part, Shanks is still a complete mystery. Why is that? Yo, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to the channel. You know who it is. It's your boy, the Natureboy. Back with another video for you guys here today. And today we are going to be discussing the red-haired goat himself, Shanks. And I truly don't think anybody is ready for Shanks' power when it's going to be revealed, because all the evidence just keeps stacking up to say this man is not only going to be the strongest, but he's going to be head and shoulders above the rest. This is the man who was raised by Roger and Rayleigh since he was a baby. The man who was the middleman between the previous Pirate King, Roger, and the future Pirate King, Luffy. The man who introduced Conqueror's Haki and Haki in general to the story. The man who introduced splitting the sky with Whitebeard while knocking out half his crew and physically damaging his ship in the process with his immense Haki. This is the man who not once, but twice intimidated the Navy admirals into backing down upon his arrival. This is the man who made Kaido, the man looking for death, turn back around and not participate in the Marineford War. And I would argue the man with by far the best portrayal in One Piece. And the longer it takes for him to make a move, the better his portrayal gets. This is Shanks, and today I want to discuss with you guys why I think no one is ready for Shanks' power. So there's two things specifically that I want to discuss today, two separate topics. And the first of those topics we're going to be talking about is Shanks' portrayal. So like I mentioned earlier, Shanks has by far the best portrayal in One Piece in my opinion. I mean, think about this. The parallels between Shanks and Roger's relationship and Luffy and Shanks's, where Luffy sees in Shanks and looks up to Shanks the way Shanks looked up to Roger and saw Roger. And Roger saw in Shanks what Shanks saw in Luffy. And those are the past Pirate Kings and the future Pirate Kings. And he's that middleman between them. That's already insane. And not to mention that Oda has stated before that Shanks is the character that most resembles himself. So you already know he has big plans for this character. And aside from that, Oda has also stated, or I think it was in an SBS where it was stated, don't quote me word for word here, but it's something along these lines where it says, Shanks is the freest man in the seas. And if we define the Pirate King as the freest man in the seas, then we can say that Shanks is the closest to that position. Now, even though this doesn't directly say he is the closest to Pirate King, it does tell us that he is the freest man in the seas. And to be the freest man in the seas, you already have to be insanely strong. Luffy even told Rayleigh in the bar that it's not that he wants to conquer anything. The direct reason he wants to be Pirate King is to be the freest man in the seas. The fact that he has one arm, is a normal-sized human, no devil fruit, yet every single top tier in the world either fears his strength, respects his strength, or a combination of both. Granted, Mihawk did show him a little bit of disrespect when he was showing him Luffy's first bounty, and he says, I forget what he says word for word, but he says something like, I'm not going to waste my time fighting a one-armed has-been. But to me, that's not necessarily disrespect as much as it is, that's just those two characters and their relationship with each other, where obviously Mihawk doesn't think any less of Shanks. He's just saying that as in he doesn't want to fight him, but that's the type of relationship that those two characters have. Because as we saw later on in Marineford, as soon as Shanks shows up, he turns around and he walks away. So that's specifically towards those two characters, as they are very familiar with each other. I don't think, because we see with Kaido, right, in his top 5, and everyone else, Big Mom, the way she talked about she would even be able to beat Shanks, Kaido, and Whitebeard. All these great characters seem to respect Shanks at the highest level. Now, when it comes to his personality, specifically, I did an entire Shanks video on his personality and portrayal and why that points to him being the strongest character. If you guys want to watch that one, it's one of the videos I'm most proud of on this channel, so I think it's a really good one. I'll leave an info card, go ahead and check that one out after. But I don't want to get too deep into that in this video because I want to specifically talk about the second topic here, which is going to be his Haki. Now we get into the good part. Now we're going to talk about the second topic, and we're going to talk about Haki. Let's get right into Shanks' Haki feats because he has the best Haki feats in the story so far. First, he uses Conqueror's Haki off rip in chapter 1, scares away the Lord of the Coast, and introduces to us Haki as an entire concept. Then, about 300 chapters later, he splits the sky with Whitebeard, which doesn't confirm, but it hints at the fact of him having advanced Conqueror's Haki already. And he does a Haki feat here that literally no one else has done to date. He physically damages a Yonko ship with his Haki presence alone. Not his sword, nothing else. He's just walking by and his Haki is so great, it's physically damaging objects just by his presence being there. And on top of this, he does another amazing Haki feat that literally no one else in this series has done, and this is his most recent appearance with Green Bull, where it seems that he sends these advanced Conqueror's Haki lightning waves all the way across from miles and miles and miles away from the land of Wano, which is already an insanely huge island. Insanely huge, unfathomably huge. And he sends these advanced Conqueror's Haki waves all the way to Green Bull on that island. And it somehow not only did he petrify and like practically paralyze Green Bull, whether you want to say in fear, in shock, whatever, Green Bull was stunned. We saw the manga panels. He basically could not move in that moment. And not only this, but Shanks was somehow able to communicate with him. So Shanks is already showing us. It's no longer even a theory that Shanks has some new forms of advanced Conqueror's Haki we haven't seen. It's not even a theory at this point. It's practically just, it's a spoiler. We know it to be true. We just need more details on what it is. And then on top of that, his Film Red reveals. If you haven't watched Film Red and you don't want to be spoiled on his powers, go ahead and skip. But go ahead and skip like about a minute into this video. But I want to talk about this part. His Film Red powers that we saw, not necessarily in the movie, but the stuff that was discussed prior to the movie releasing. Observation Haki killer. Mind blown already. Mind blown. It makes sense how he was able to duel evenly with Mihawk for so long. With Mihawk probably being one of the best observation Haki users. As he's Dracula Mihawk, we already know his eyes, all that stuff. Shanks probably learned some of the best Haki stuff when in his duels with Mihawk. And now we know he's able to completely kill his opponent's observation Haki. Not just this, but for those that actually watched the movie, when Katakuri showed up, he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna use my future sight to be able to link with my sister in the mirror world." And Shanks laughs at his Haki usage like it's cute, and he's like, "Don't worry, you're not the only one that can use future sight." And he says it in a way, the way he talks to him is almost like him and all his subordinates have much greater use of future sight than Katakuri. And immediately after that, we see Yasop, who's not even his top guy, using everything we've seen Katakuri use. All of Katakuri's best things, we see Yasop use right there, where he links with Usopp so easily, so well, and is able to do what Katakuri was about to flex on the Red Haired Pirates, as if he's the only one that can do it. So we know when it comes to Haki, him, and not just him, but all of his crew are next level Haki users. And in the Kaido against Luffy fight, one of the last things in that fight before Kaido falls, he talks to Luffy about Haki, and he says to Luffy, you may have a Delphi awakening, and Delphi may be amazing right now, but you need Haki. Roger was only able to conquer the seas with Haki, and Haki alone, not Devil Fruits. So the most elite guys perfect their Haki. And this is good writing, because Oda is not just putting this in there for Kaido to tell Luffy. He's basically telling us readers that from this point on in the story, it's going to be Haki. And if you look at the structure of One Piece, every time Luffy fights a main villain, he always learns some kind of concept from them, right? Like with Kaido, he learned how to upgrade his Devil Fruit and to use his Devil Fruit to the level Kaido was using it and get his Devil Fruit awakening. He learned Advanced Conqueror's Haki. He learned Advanced Armament Haki, because those were the things Kaido was using, and he needed to match Kaido in that. With Katakuri, he needed Future Sight, because that's what he was using, and he needed to match him in that. With Doflamingo, he had to use a Gears. Every fight, he learns something. So every character that's like at that level is going to introduce something that Luffy needs to use to beat them, right? Even if they're not necessarily using it. And with that, and with what Kaido said, think about this. Why would Kaido say that to open up the door for the future of One Piece having a whole new level of Haki? if Shanks isn't gonna have it, because who else is gonna have it? Roger, Whitebeard, they're already dead. So why would you introduce this concept that we're only gonna see in a flashback and that Luffy can't actually see? I think Shanks is gonna have levels of Advanced Conqueror's Haki, and that Haki that Kaido was talking about that you need to reach the top, and specifically how he mentions Roger only had Haki, I think is hinting at Shanks probably going to have Haki even greater than Roger's, because Roger is already gone, Shanks is here. So for Luffy to be the best ever at Haki by the end of the series, he's gonna need to surpass someone at least as great, if not greater, than Roger, and that's Shanks. In my humble opinion, that is absolutely Shanks. So that's what I think, but I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think Shanks actually does have Haki levels greater than anyone else in the series? Do you think Shanks is a bum and all these top tiers can destroy him and he's not nearly as strong as everyone thinks? You think something in between? Let me know down below in the comments, guys. And if you guys enjoyed this video, check out my Why Shanks is Top 1. It's a two-parter video. I did it when I had significantly less subscribers. I had less than 100 subscribers, so most of you probably haven't seen it. But besides my theory video, it is by far the video I am most proud of doing. It is the video I put the most time into, and it is the video that shows the most in-depth analysis that I've ever done, especially the second one. So I would highly recommend, if you guys enjoyed this one, please go ahead and watch those two videos. I'll leave them up here now below so you guys can click on them. Like the video, guys, if you enjoyed it. Comment down below, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you guys later this week with another fantastic video. Until next time, guys, stay safe. Natureboy out.